If you're a man waiting for the universe to deliver your dream life, you're already losing, bro. And there's this idea out there that you should never spike your cortisol, you should never do anything hard because it's unnatural. And that's just not true. It goes against thousands of years of masculinity. And it's very popular in the primal and the holistic health community. And I fell victim to this way of thinking for a long time. And I was journaling about it this morning. And I just thought really I was compelled to share this with you because I don't want you to fall victim to this way of thinking and going down the wrong path. And positive vibes do matter because it changes the way you interact in the world. And visualization does matter too. Like top tier athletes use this, but the thing is they go out and actually act on it. And if you just think that you can send good vibes out into the universe and have an impact, then you're just delusional, man. Like I said, this goes against thousands of years of masculinity. And just go back to our ancestors. Like Gym Tan Beef is all centered around like ancestral living, how humans literally evolved with nature. So go back to the very beginning of time when men and women were preparing for war. Women would literally sit there and send out positive vibes. They would pray, they would do ceremonies because that's all they could really do. They couldn't go out and fight or anything. But the men were there, they were forging weapons, they were fighting each other, they were training for battle, they were building their defenses, they were actually preparing for war, and then they went out and they fought the war. And so when people tell you to never raise your cortisol or to never stress, it literally goes against thousands of years of masculinity because that's how men survive. Like that's how the toughest men throughout history survived. Like if you want to be a weak man, then you should have the idea that I should never stress and just chill all day. And really this is why today's men are so weak, is because they never want to do anything hard. And I think that a lot of people in the primal and the holistic health community, they use this idea to cope. And in a way, I was using it to cope. Because if you say, well, our ancestors were just chilling, they never spiked their cortisol, then you can use that as a cope to not do things that you want to do. And I run across this a lot with a lot of other health coaches. They're like, yeah, you should never do anything you don't want to do because it's unnatural. And all of this way of thinking comes from this guy called Goatis. And just look up this guy. He looks like shit. Like he literally tried to kill his ex-girlfriend and his baby with an acid attack. And he's on the run right now from the law in the EU. Like people think he's hiding out in Mexico. But when you say don't stress, don't spike your cortisol, this is who you're referencing. A guy that paid someone to throw acid on his ex-girlfriend and his child. So maybe think twice before saying don't stress, don't raise your cortisol, because it's really not true. You really just don't want to spike your cortisol long term, because when you have like long-term cortisol spikes, if you're stressed out at your job and you're stressed out for 8 hours a day, and then you go home and you're stressed out with your family, that's what's going to kill you. But when you have a cortisol spike at the gym, or when you have a cortisol spike like right now while I'm making this video, I have passion, your cortisol will soon drop down to baseline, and it's actually beneficial for you because having a high cortisol spike actually boosts your testosterone. And that's what men are about, right? We need passion, we need energy, we need the cortisol to actually go out and accomplish something in the morning. Like in the morning when you get that like heart pounding in your chest, like you just need to get up, and you have almost that anxiety that you need to get out of bed. And that's why if you're healthy, you wake up with a boner, is because God's literally telling you like, get up, bro, you got to go accomplish something today. You got to go spread your seed. Like it's natural to have that cortisol spike. And now I've related it to our ancestors, but let me relate it to me. I do things I don't want to do every day. Like my name is Gym Tan Beef. I don't want to go to the gym every day. Hell, I hate training legs. I do not want to train legs. If I just had like naturally big legs and I never had to train them, then I would be happy and I would literally have zero complaints. But no, when leg day comes, I'm like, damn, this is gonna suck. But the thing is I get the leg day done and then I'm proud of myself, and then I get a dopamine release, and you just get so much of a dopamine, serotonin, and overall a testosterone boost from accomplishing something that you didn't want to do. And your body rewards it with this natural dopamine and serotonin because it's good for you. Your body evolved to do hard things, especially as a man. And if you've ever done a workout late at night, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you come back home from the office, you're tired, and then you go, you get your workout in, and then after your workout, you're just like, hell yeah, man, I got it done. I got it done. And this just comes, again, from your ancestors. Like, I'm right here in Germany right now, in this German field. Like, think about how many men died on this soil, fighting wars they didn't want to fight, or fighting for their families. Like, you think the men that went to war against each other on these lands, whether it was World War I, World War II, you think they wanted to die? No, but they knew they had to protect their family, to protect their country. And that's what being a man is doing things you don't want to do. And let's use an example that doesn't have to do with war. Think about a peasant living out here in a log cabin. You think he wanted to wake up in the cold German winter and go chop wood? No, but he had to, even if it spiked his cortisol, even if it stressed him out. He had to do it because he had to keep his family warm. He had to go farm the fields because it fed his family. That's what he had to do to change his generational line. And like, literally, I'm American here in Europe. Think about the immigrants that came from Europe to America. You think they wanted to get on a ship and travel weeks to a new country where they had no idea what was going to happen? No, of course not. They were comfortable here. Their homes were here. But they wanted to do something uncomfortable to move their generations forward, to move their family forward, to change the future of their bloodline. And again, that's what being a man is about. I guarantee you the whole time they were on that ship, they had high cortisol. They're wondering, what's going to happen when we get to America? We don't have any family there. We don't have any money. We don't even have a house. We don't have a car. We don't have a horse. Like, what were they going to do here? But they did it anyways. They did it to move along their bloodline. And when it comes to tan and gym tan beef, I will admit I love coming outside. But when I was fat like this guy right here, this was me just a couple years ago, I didn't want to go outside. I just wanted to chill, watch YouTube, watch Netflix, and stay inside all day. And that's what led me to look like this, is literally not wanting to do anything hard. And this guy right here too didn't want to go to the gym because it was too hard. I was too busy at work to go to the gym, or I had too stressful of a day to go to the gym. And beef too. This guy right here didn't want to eat nutrient-dense whole foods because, again, I spent all day working, so I deserve to go out and eat shitty food. I deserve to go poison myself with junk food. Yeah, that's just what I was telling myself. And it's the same cope you hear from these holistic and these primal influencers when they tell you, don't do anything hard, don't stress. It's just because they don't want to do anything hard. They don't want to lift weights. And what you'll notice is the guys that tell you not to lift weights because it's stressful, or not to do anything hard because it's stressful, they're always these pencil neck dweebs, these skinny kids who have never actually seen the progress in the gym. So they just want to say, like, no, don't do it. It's stressful. Like, they don't want you to get bigger than them. They don't want you to see success. They want to keep on coping, and they don't want anyone to get better than them. So in a way, they're coping, and they're also holding you back on purpose. Because if you start growing and you get in the gym, I fucking promise you, bro, you're gonna be addicted to it. Like 1 month in the gym, you're gonna be like, let's fucking go. You're gonna start seeing muscle definition. You're gonna start seeing striations. And that's what happened to me, bro. Like, look at my transformation. This was before gym tan beef, and then this was just a couple weeks ago. Like, I am addicted to this lifestyle now, all because I do hard things and I get a dopamine release from it. And I'm also just addicted to nature now because it's beautiful. Like, being out here and actually creating, doing this video, it's actually doing something good in the world. And look, I'm spiking my cortisol. I'm getting all worked up about this topic, but it's good. I'm sending a positive message to you. I'm sharing something that I went through and how it affected me negatively. And then I'll even be a little more vulnerable and share something more recent I went through. And it's when I moved to Costa Rica. So me and my wife, we literally were just talking one day, and she's like, you want to move to Costa Rica? Because we were watching like Paul Saladino and these other people on Instagram living in Costa Rica. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. But literally like a couple weeks in, I was like, you know what, babe, I don't know about the internet, I don't know about the cell service, I don't know about the bank. And she's just like, you know what, if we don't do it now, we're never gonna do it. But again, that's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. My wife is very feminine, and she's all about like the good vibes and just going with the flow. But I fell into that. I was just like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's sell everything. Let's move to Costa Rica. And if we went back in time, I would totally do it again because I learned a lot of lessons. But I should have prepared more. I should have listened to that masculine instinct that was like, maybe let's get a few more things set up. Let's find a better like long-term spot. Like we literally went there and lived in a place we never saw in person. We just arrived at our house and we just moved in, and we had never seen it in person. And this really went against like everything I was feeling in my heart about it, because I'm a guy who loves to plan stuff out. Like that's why I track my macros. I track all my weights when I lift weights, all my sets in an app. So I know when I go in the gym the next time I can go up in weight. Like that's how scheduled I am. But for some reason I was just like, fuck it, let's just move to Costa Rica. And like we didn't even have a car there either. We just got there, and it was funny because we thought we were gonna buy a car in like one day, but it took like almost a week, and we had to keep on extending our Airbnb in the city, and it was really stressful. It was a whole mess. I was falling into that feminine energy is the point I'm trying to make, of just going with the flow, when I should have really like sat there, figured out our long-term housing situation, because we were just in this like little one-bedroom Airbnb, and it was nice. I loved it. It was a great place to stay. It's just like we probably should have done more research, right? I probably should have gone down there for like a month or two and see if we're gonna like it, rather than just selling all our stuff and moving down there, using that feminine energy. I should have used that masculine energy of preparing, of discipline, because that's why you have a wife and a husband, is because they balance each other out. And my wife even mentioned this, because I was talking to her about this after I journaled, and she's like, it's just like Adam and Eve. Eve was like, here babe, eat the fruit. And Adam's like, I don't know, I don't think we should. And he's like, fuck it, she says we should. And he takes a bite. And that's a great metaphor, is you should always trust your masculine intuition. And when you feel that intuition that I need to get up and I need to go do something, you should follow that. And that's another thing I didn't like about Costa Rica, and why we ended up moving, is because all the guys there were that very feminine energy of just like, surfer bro, go with the flow. And they weren't really like me, like getting in the gym, lifting weights, trying to get jacked, trying to build a business. They were just like pot smokers chilling on the beach. And I think you can relate this to like Jesus Christ. Like the surfer people in Costa Rica, they're very spiritual. And then you have the like business banker guy who just wants to work on Wall Street and make a bunch of money. And now Jesus is the perfect example of being a man, because he's right in the middle of those two. He was very spiritual, but he was also living as a man on this earth. He was in this fleshly realm. And he's just a good example that you can't just be too spiritual, that like feminine, go with the flow energy. Or in some ways, you probably can't be that too masculine, too disciplined energy. And like I said, I don't regret moving to Costa Rica, because I learned lessons like this. Like if I have that intuition that we need to take it slower and we need to go about things maybe a little more sensical and a little more disciplined, then I should follow that. And it really is a hard line to walk on, because me in the past, when I was like fat like this and I was a realtor in Dallas, Texas, I was just so like stuck in my ways that I never wanted to change. I thought processed food was okay. I thought drinking every weekend was okay. I thought smoking weed like every day was okay. And it's just because I was like stuck in my ways. And maybe like the point, I'm just like literally, And I'm just doing like a stream of consciousness talk right now, going off the cuff. But I think like maybe you don't need all masculine and all feminine, but you need right in the middle. But like maybe that's why you need a good partner and a good wife, is because you have that equal discipline between you two, the masculine and the feminine, and together you get things done. But you as a man need to carry that masculine side, and that's something I'm really trying to work on now, is really like starting to produce, starting to get away from that like go with the flow, don't do anything hard, like holistic mindset, and really just starting to like affect change on the world. Because if you think about it, the greatest men in history just literally grabbed the world by the balls. Like Julius Caesar, you think about Napoleon, you think about, I was gonna say the Austrian painter, but still a good example. They literally took the world by its balls and affected change on it. Whether you think the Austrian painter, whether you think Napoleon or Julius Caesar were good guys, they went out in the world and they made it its bitch. And I think we need a lot more guys out there today doing that, because you see a lot of these like boomer wife guys today of like happy wife, happy life, like using that feminine energy just really as an excuse to just like let their wives do whatever, and literally just to let themselves be like a cuck and give up their masculinity. Because in a way, it is easier for you just to like give up your masculinity and say like, yes ma'am, no ma'am, like just bow down to women and be a cuck. Like it takes balls now to stand up to women and to stand up to feminized society. And I think literally that's something that we can all work on. It's something that I work on every day, and something I've been doing to work on that every day has been reading the life of Cato the Younger, because I think a lot of this modern day masculinity, like Andrew Tate, this Jason Walker, these guys are all just fake and full of bullshit. Like Andrew Tate says he's like all about traditional values, yet he's promoting a gambling website now. He's just full of shit. He's a grifter. So that's why I study the life of Cato the Younger. And the reason I'm studying him, it's called the Great Men of History Theory. And it goes like this. Julius Caesar wanted to be like Alexander the Great. Napoleon wanted to be like Julius Caesar. And then Big H, the Austrian painter, wanted to be like Napoleon. So they studied each other, and that's how they became great men. And Cato is someone I connected to because he was very family oriented. He ran his household like a school, and he was very involved in his child's life. And overall, I think that's my like overall calling, is to be a father and to raise a family that loves each other and to really be present in my kids' lives. And when I make videos like this, I try and make them like I'm talking to my son, like they're literally from my journal notes. And I hope I have the balls to like hand over my journal to my son one day, because I am vulnerable. I'm more vulnerable in the actual like journal notes that I take than I make in these videos. And like I probably should be more vulnerable so I can help you out a little more, because more sharing always helps. But some of the stuff I just don't want to share too much yet. I'm just not comfortable with it yet. But I'm getting off topic from Cato. I'm literally just going off the top of the head here. But Cato was very like family oriented, and like I was saying, we don't have modern men that we can look up to, so you should go back in history. So literally I went on ChatGPT and I said, I want to be a good father, I want to be knowledgeable, I want to raise kids that are conscious and are able to develop their best lives. And ChatGPT literally shot me out a list, and it gave me like 5 guys. I don't remember the other ones off the top of my head. One was Carl Jung, but the other guys I don't really remember. One was like a medieval king, but I can't remember. But basically, because we have no good modern influencers, I would really suggest that you go in ChatGPT, type in the Great Man of History Theory, and then give ChatGPT a description of what you're trying to be like, and it will shoot you out some answers. And literally, I just read like a passage a day from The Life of Cato by Plutarch. It takes me like 15 minutes. I do a journal entry on it, and then I write the lesson that I learned. And Cato was a guy who he would literally walk on foot while his soldiers and his slaves would ride horses, because he believed that he had to lead by example. And that's something that I'm also trying to do through these videos. And if you follow me on Instagram, you see through my stories every day, I literally do gym, tan, beef every day. I'm getting in the gym, I'm getting outside. Like, I made this video outside today because it's February and it's like 60 degrees. I'm a little sick right now, if you can't tell by my voice and my congestion. I'd usually have my shirt off getting a tan, but I should stay warm. But then after this, I'm gonna literally drink some raw milk, which is my beef. Like, the beef in gym tan beef just means nutrient dense food. So that's literally what I'm trying to do, like lead by example, because the guy I'm trying to become is the guy that this fat, sick, depressed person wished he was, or wished he had as a mentor, not these fake like masculinity influencers that we have these days. But that's pretty much sums up all I had on this one. I'm pretty much done yapping on this one. But if you need help transforming your body, or you need help bringing more masculinity into your life, I do offer one-on-one coaching, and you can schedule a coaching qualification call in the description below. But other than that, brother, watch this video right here. YouTube thinks you'll like it, and maybe go watch it on a walk outside in the sun, or watch it eating a steak, or watch it at the gym on the treadmill, or maybe just watch it at the gym over your headphones. But Gym Tan Beef out. Have a good one, brother.